all of a sudden, a man grabs us and puts us in a van.
We're about to get off, guys.
Cops got called twice in a row.
Literally, it was the worst thing I've ever experienced.
Shut up!
Guys, I almost got kidnapped. Welcome back to another episode of WAG Podcast.
What are you talking about?
So, guys, I'm going to tell you the story where me and Angelina at the Dominican Republic almost got kidnapped. And then I have a second story where we were selling lemonade and we almost got snatched, too.
Yeah, let's talk about the Dominican Republic. It was our first time being in the Dominican Republic.
Like, ever going there. We were super nervous.
I was safe and cozy back in my home. I was safe and nothing happened to me.
Mind you, it was probably like 10 o'clock at night, and we had a 3-hour car drive to where we're supposed to be because there's only like one airport there.
Well, the thing is that we hate going to like hotels and stuff or resorts. My dad hates it, so he's like, let's book a really nice Airbnb.
He's very bougie.
Gotta be an Airbnb.
So we were on like the not resort side of the Dominican Republic.
We were with the locals chilling out. I mean, it was
we were with all the locals. So we get there at around 10 o'clock at night. And when I say I've never been in a more filled airport in my life, like have you seen the movies where they're holding the signs and they're like, are you the Clark family? Are you the this family? Like, and or there's like huge families like waiting for their family. Like there was so much of that. And so we're walking out, and I mean, I saw like 3 people get arrested that night.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then all of a sudden, a man grabs us and puts us in a van. And like,
awesome. Where is this
no
going?
content.
He's like, are you this family? And we're like, yeah. He's like, get in my van. We're like, what?
And I looked at my dad. I'm like, Dad, where are we going? And my dad just straight up says, I don't know. I'm like, that's not comforting. That's not comforting. Because I will let you guys know, when I get nervous and stressed out,
she laughs.
She would die in the quiet place.
I laugh.
She would be dead. She'd be the first one gone.
Yeah, in the
I
quiet
have to
place.
put tape
She's
on my
gone.
mouth or something.
No,
But,
you'd
like,
still manage.
You would be bait.
You'd still manage. You would still manage to make a noise.
And so we get in, then they're rushing us out of the van. So we get out of the van, and then there's guns everywhere. There's guys with guns, and we're in this area, and they pull up chairs, and we're in this circle, and Bella is
And then he goes, you. He points to my dad, and he's like, you come with me. And we're like, oh, yeah, no, we're cooked. Like, we're literally so sauteed
we're
right
with
now.
other families, and they have the same idea as us of like, holy crap, where are we going?
We're about to get off,
like,
guys.
We're gonna die. And then the guys pulling us chairs, and we just see the guys walking back and forth with guns, and we're like, oh,
No, and not just guns, machetes too. And when I don't say
not like something like that.
like, I'm talking, they are like half a leg size machete, like the type of things you see in video games where they snatch it up and cut a guy's head off type of thing. Those types of machetes.
Yes, and then Bella is crying
Because I'm actually pretty calm in situations, like when it comes to high stress. Like I'm pretty chill. You can't name one time where I have not been super calm. It's just my thing. I freak out when it comes to certain things.
Yeah, you can see it on her face that she's freaking out on the verge of a mental breakdown. She's like, oh my God.
Her eyes gets very big, and she's like, okay.
So Nina's laughing, and I'm thinking if she chuckles one more time, one of them is just gonna, like I was like, so I kept whispering to Angelina, I'm like, Angelina, shut up. And she just, imagine if we die right now. She whispered that. And so I'm like kicking her, being like, shut up. My mom is like praying. She's just like, okay. And then my dad finally comes out, and that whole thing was getting a rental car. I did not know that. I thought, oh no, we're goners right here. And so we get a rental car, and it was supposed to be like I think it was like supposed to be like a 2.5 hour drive. We did not get to our actual Airbnb until 2 a.m. in the morning.
It was
beautiful
beautiful Airbnb.
Beautiful. There was horses
We
in
were
our
on
yard.
the beach, and it was beautiful. It was a giant house.
It was secluded.
I will say at night, I've never seen so many parties. Like, people had parties at their house. Like, you're driving through the neighborhoods, and all you hear is boom, 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 and then just Mexican music, and we're like, I'm like,
it was
this
vibe,
best,
though.
it was awesome.
And they
Sugar
had
vibe.
some of the best pastries I've ever had was just in like the local pastry
Bella
areas.
kept talking about
Oh
the
my
pastry.
gosh.
She'd wake up, she's like,
Big
I
back.
want a pastry.
No, it was these tarts. They were better than anything I've ever tried, and probably because it was like actual like real food, and it was delicious. That was great. The second time we almost got snatched. No, this was like actually like a real time. So we used to all three sell
I
lemonade.
thought the first, all
No,
three.
Sell
We
lemonade.
were selling
Our
lemonade.
lemonade stand.
Yeah.
Lemonade stand,
And
yeah.
do you remember that one time there was a guy and he had a van? And I remember he asked us, he's like, "Can I have a lemonade?" Scarlett has no clue.
I
about
have.
it.
How do I have no memory? I was here.
Yeah.
I was
So-
there.
Well, think about it. It just think
Hang
about
on.
it.
Let me
just-
envision it in my head.
So,
Okay.
anyways, he goes, so we were ready to just hand him a cup of lemonade, him pay us like
He
$2.
backs up
Yes,
his
because-
van.
And he goes, no. Actually, can you take the cup and can you pour the lemonade into my cup? And we're like, okay. And so as we're doing that, so our backs are turned, and he is backing up.
He's
and
backing his little
and we
van
are
up.
on like a straight shot, like a straight shot and then open road.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not like a full length neighborhood type of thing. And so my mom gets a little concerned. And
Yeah,
so
mom goes into straight green, like she's like, whoa, whoa, and she's like,
No, she's not
she
grunting.
like she gets
Yeah,
up,
she's not like a
she
bear.
Makes, she makes her presence known.
Known.
She's like, she was like,
She makes a person, and this guy completely like switches from like being like very talkative towards us to completely quiet, and he's just like, you know what, just give me the cup, and then he drove away super fast, and so my mom's like, I think you guys almost got snatched.
yeah, because like,
Oh my gosh, I think I do
my
remember
mom
this.
would like turn into Superman. She like flexed her muscles. She was just like,
I
come
do-
at me,
I
man,
do
I'm
remember-
ready.
I do remember the one time we were having a lemonade stand and we found a $50 bill on the ground and we totally snatched it.
Oh,
We
yeah,
were
I
putting
know,
up
that was-
signs and I was like, oh my gosh, look at that $50 bill in the ground. I was like, I'm taking it. And so then I did. And
that
yeah.
could have been somebody's.
It could have been somebody's and someone could have put something in it, but you know what? Back then.
could have been
I did
lace.
what I
Don't
did.
pick up random money, people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe don't do that. Yeah.
Don't do that.
Um,
Speaking of like, we have like crazy vacation stories. Scarlett has a crazy.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's so bad.
Like it's way worse than anything
Yeah,
we've ever
like,
experienced.
okay. I was in Hawaii. Aloha.
Aloha, which I have a joke. I have a joke, guys. How do you laugh in Hawaiian?
Aloha.
Aloha.
I just said that.
So
It
stupid.
up. I was aloha.
You're that's like the
The ultimate dad joke.
so dad joke coded. Okay. We were in Hawaii and we were asking, we went on this tour with the ATVs. We're gonna drive ATVs around the hills and the mountains, not the mountains, but in the hills in Hawaii. And it was really fun. And we asked the locals there, we were like, hey, where's the best like beach to go to that's like your favorite that has like no one there? And then he told us it was like 30 minutes away. Sweet. We go there. We had to go into the public bathrooms at the beach to get changed. Now, don't do that, okay? Just don't. Just like
Don't.
every time I go into a beach, normally the bathrooms are fine. This one I walked into and I was like, oh my
It was a crime
gosh.
scene.
Well, so my mom goes in with me and she goes, I'm going into the stall. So I say, okay. I look and I'm like, wow, that toilet's a mess and that one's a mess and that one's a mess. And I'm like, let's go to the one clean one. And there's a reason it was the one clean one. Because I go into the bathroom and I walk by the toilet and I'm trying to find a shelf to put my bag on so I can get changed. And you know what I step in? I take a walk and I step right into a pile of homeless person poop. Right on my shoe. Right. Like I don't notice it. I smush and I'm like about to turn around because I'm trying to find a hook and I look down and I'm like, oh my gosh. I literally can't even fathom this. So I quickly, on the stall, I'm like, you know what? This place is already a mess. I'm trying on the concrete, wiping my foot. And I'm like, get it off, get it off, get it off. And then I go and I see my mom's stall and I jump in and she's already dressed. Like, okay, you ready to go? And I'm like, no, I am not.
Stepped on a shat
I'm like,
right
I
there.
just stepped on homeless person poop. And she's like, no, you didn't. And I was like, look in the stall. I was like, look in that stall. No problem. And then she goes and she's like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, yeah. Yep.
How do you know it was a homeless person's poop?
I'm just taking a guess. I am taking a guess. I didn't see a dog around. And I was like, I don't.
Was it thick? Like, that's how you can tell.
Dude, I don't remember. It was gross and it squished and it got all over the bottom of my
fresh.
shoes. It was fresh. And I was like, are you serious? And then I finally got dressed, and then my dad was like, what took so long? And I'm like, you don't want to know. Like, you don't want to know. And then I told him, and then he was like, oh, we got to burn those shoes. And I'm like, yeah, well, we didn't burn those shoes. And then I put them in the salt water at the beach. And then I
washed homeless poop off
and I
with
just
the
put
ocean?
it, no, I dipped my feet in there, and then I left it out in the sun. And then I actually still wear those shoes.
So you let the poop crust?
No,
shoes
it
are
cleaned.
they?
They're the ones I wore today.
Ew!
It was over a year ago, and I've put them in the washer a few times ever since, and they're good now. But let me tell you, it was the grossest thing I've ever experienced in my whole life. And could you imagine if I was like, I was in like the Birkenstocks.
Imagine you were barefoot.
I was in the Birkenstock ones, and I'm like, can you imagine if I was in those plastic little flip-flops where the one goes in between your toe, and it's like this thin, and I'm like,
You would have gotten to see,
I would
cut off the toes.
I would have had to cut off the foot, man.
Scarlett would have been horrified.
That
You would have
was-
been horrified.
Scarlett's like
bad.
a clean freak.
It was bad. I was like, I can't manage this. I was like, these shoes like have to go. But then I was like, well,
I like these shoes.
I do like these shoes. And
We'll
I
just
was
cut off the first layer.
I thought about it, and then they went in the salt water and they stayed in the sun, and then they were clean, and then I washed them when I got home, and then they're good now.
Good.
I think they're good now. But there was one time when I was in Puerto Rico. Have you guys ever been to an abandoned airport?
No.
Like one that doesn't have a lot of people in
No,
it.
like abandoned.
oh,
no.
no.
So in Puerto Rico, when we flew in, because of the time difference plus it was like a 6-hour plane ride plus whatever the time difference is, I don't know. We ended up flying into Puerto Rico at like 1 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, wow.
And we flew in really late, and then of course it's sketchy, man. All of the shops in the airport have those things down on
Yeah.
it. Everything's completely sealed, and we're like, well, we got a hotel in the airport. So we got a hotel in the airport to stay at because it was really late. It was like actually on like Super Bowl, one of the Super Bowls like 6 years ago. I don't know. We got in and they had us walk. We're like, where is it? And they're like, oh, just go straight through. You'll eventually see it. We walk in and all of a sudden we just see less and less people. Me and my parents are the only ones in the airport. We're walking. And you know when you have to like check your bag and then like you hand it and then the ladies like throw your bag everywhere, you know? And it's like, oh, careful. And they're like lugging it over and whatnot. Completely empty. Completely broken. Dust everywhere.
Oh, I would
It was-
totally go in there.
It was mangled. It was gross. And then we walk all the way down. And then there's like things, their conveyor belts for baggage claim is completely broken. And this place hasn't been, mind you, 1 o'clock in the morning, hasn't been used in years. And then I swear, all of a sudden, like I hear a bang and I hear a noise and I'm freaking out. I'm like, it's already like 1 o'clock in the morning. I need to get to this hotel right now. And then I see there's birds in here that they're stuck in here in Puerto Rico.
Oh,
And they're like, guys, if you know me, I am afraid of birds.
She's
terrified
of birds.
I think this is how it has started. Ever since I was a kid, I have not been afraid. I have been really, really
Is
afraid
that
of
why
birds.
you will never go to grandma and grandpa's house because of their birds?
They have birds. Their birds stay in a cage when I'm there. Not a fan of birds. No, thank you. No.
I'm afraid of butterflies.
Have
See,
you ever
like that's weirder. But then there was birds because it was locked and at night and abandoned, and it was literally freaking me out. And by the time we got into this hotel, it was like the sketchiest hotel.
So I
of
should
my
never
life.
put you in a cage full of birds.
Absolutely.
Dude, Scar would kill
Absolutely
you.
not. Aiden, who was on the podcast, he was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to bring all my friends together and we're going to go to the zoo and it's going to be so much fun. And I was like, okay, bet, I'll let go. And then he was like, we're going to go see the birds. And I was like, I'm not going in there.
Oh, he forced
I was
her.
like, I'm not going in. And he like works there and he's like, no, you're going to go. And I was like, fine, then I'm going to stay like this the whole time and I'll have a little stick out and then I'll just like feed the bird. And then he goes, okay, yeah, that's fine. Because I know you're afraid of birds, I'll go easy on you. Because Bella told him my fear of birds. He goes in and then he goes, oh my gosh, look at the bird. And he goes, hey, look at this bird, and places a bird on me. And I'm like, are you serious? And he places the bird.
tweaking.
He places the bird right here, and he's like, that bird's so nice. And it's like pecking at my ear. And you're like, Aiden, get it away. Aiden, get it away. I am absolutely petrified.
No, one time
of
he
birds.
forced me to go into the butterfly exhibit.
Yeah,
And I'm
that's
scared of
so
butterflies.
stupid. I don't know why butterflies.
My fear of butterflies is because, number one, I'm more scared of accidentally hurting it than because one time my grandma used to own turtles, okay? And one
Yeah.
time when we visited her house in Florida, I remember seeing her turtle snatch a butterfly and eat it, and half of it, and I remember seeing its little wing as it only had one wing, and it was just, it was tweaking. I felt so bad. But the problem is I hate bugs. And what I'm more scared, like I would cry if I flicked away a butterfly and I accidentally killed it. Like I would cry, but I'm so scared of butterflies. Like I would accidentally hit it away. There's something about butterflies I just don't like it. I don't like their little wings. I don't like how they flutter.
Okay, that's kind of ridiculous.
But I'm scared of them.
Birds are a real fear, I feel.
Birds are cute, Scarlett.
No, there is someone out there.
Stupid fear.
That's a stupid fear. There's someone out there who doesn't like birds. Small birds I can be okay with, but those big ostriches, emus, no. It's because my parents at the age of 5 took me when we were in California to this ostrich feeding exhibit where it was like 8 ostriches and I was like 5 and I was like, here in a little container, here.
Just, like,
and then it was like pecking and there was like 8 of them pecking and it freaked me out. And thank you,
guys,
parents.
next WAG Nation videos, we're gonna take Scarlett to one of those drive-in zoos.
Oh, I did that.
I went once and I was by the window and there were these emus with those big red eyes staring at me and I was like, oh my gosh, those things.
We went to the drive-in zoo together for a camp. It was so fun.
It was fun. The zebra was fun. Those ostriches and emus, terrifying. No, thank you.
We also got to feed giraffes too. That was fun.
That was actually
they
fun.
Their head in our car.
That was fun. It licked like my whole face. It was like really gross.
Okay, so
sometimes.
speaking of cool stuff, we have some cool school stories. There's been lots
We
of
have a lot
fights
of
at our
them.
school. Oh yeah.
One time the cops got called 2 days in a row.
Oh
At our private
Christian homeschool.
Not a homeschool. Our private Christian school. Cops got called twice in a row. Twice.
Because
One
kids
day-
would fight each other in that school.
One time a parent, I don't know what was happening.
Oh yeah.
She was in my school and she was the definition of a pick-me. She was, if you ever think of it, like, oh my gosh, my friend is such a pick-me. No. This is
She
the
was
most
a
pick-me I've ever met in my life.
Pick me.
Yeah. She was really a lot.
Guys, I'm just like so like no guys like me.
No one
I'm
cares
just
for
like
me.
so unattractive, guys. Shut up.
And she was friends with this one girl, really sweet girl. Okay, she was really nice. She was really shy, and
She
they
was
were
really sweet.
They were friends. Should they have been friends? No, because then all of a sudden the dad comes in school and is like, "I need to speak to so and so."
Which is a sweet girl.
Which is the sweet girl. And she's like, my daughter's blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, he takes her outside and he starts yelling at the girl. I'm like, that's 1, not your kid. 2, what is happening? And then they pull the girl in and there was a whole meltdown. And then they called the cops on the dad. And then she'd get kicked out of the school and she was expelled. And then the other girl quit going to the school because obviously the dad was crazy. I don't know what happened.
Dude, I'd sumo wrestle.
Because-
I'd talk to that.
Because the
I'd be like,
daughter-
you don't get to talk to me like that, sir. Only
Yeah.
my mom gets to talk to me like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because the girl was such a pick-me, she was like, oh my gosh, so-and-so spreading rumors about me, and it was that friend.
And the dad
was
clearly had
like,
issues.
oh, no one gets to spread rumors about you.
No one can spread rumors about my pick-me daughter.
Yeah, basically yelled at this poor girl.
She was so sweet.
Most entertaining math class of my entire life because it was right outside the door, so we heard everything outside, and I got to hear it all, and I got to listen, and I got to see, and then it was a whole ordeal, and I didn't have to participate in math.
Wow.
There was one time where our school almost exploded.
That is true.
So, and you know how my teachers handled
school.
it? So, same school. This is all the same school. All of this because the stories are going to get crazier. So, basically, I'm sitting in my class, and all of a sudden, we start smelling gasoline.
Yeah.
And the firefighters come and they go, hey, guys, there's a gas leak. So if someone lights a candle, rips a fart, anything, your school is exploded. Like literally, the smell of gasoline was so profound
strong.
because it was coming from our school.
And guess what? school started at like 8 a.m. We got there at like 8 a.m. We could all smell it.
And none of the teachers
no one
believed
did
it.
anything.
The teacher said
Until like 11:30.
Fine.
And they were like, well, I guess it's giving us headaches. And I am really sensitive to smell. So I was like, I have such a bad headache. I was like, dude. I was like, and the teacher was like, no, it's nothing. It's fine. They clean the carpets. It's probably from that, blah, blah, blah. And then they were like, nope. Anything you light, this place is going down. And we were like, oh.
Yeah, and when my teacher found out that it was a gas leak, she still forced us to finish doing school before. She said, no, you guys have to finish this test before I can call your parents. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you seriously kidding me? And so if our school exploded, we wouldn't even be here. Speaking of our teachers,
we have a lot of schools.
I had a pedo as a teacher. His name was Mr.
Name drop.
I could care less.
Was that even his name?
Yeah.
Yes, it was Mr.
That's what it was.
I stalked him and found him on Facebook.
Book. I did too.
So
That's so girl coded right there.
So basically, I had my math teacher and my science teacher were the same. She was this really sweet lady, but she had to leave school for some unknown reason. I don't know why. And she was really upset about it because she really liked my class. And so instead, we got replaced with this teacher named Mr. I've never had a guy teacher before. My only guy teacher was
I had
my
a guy history teacher.
and I
had a guy
loved
math
him.
He was
teacher.
the definition of a history teacher. He was old. He was like, flip the page to page 32.
I loved him because he let us get out of schoolwork. He was
easily.
great.
He was like, hey, the class is ending. You guys have to sit here until the bell rings in 20 minutes, but you can do whatever you want. And I was like, bless you. We can do whatever we want.
I was excited to have another guy teacher because I was like, okay, maybe he would be easy on us like our history teacher. Because my history teacher, I mean, he was practically ashes. I saw his skin peeling. He was he had this one skin tab right here. And this, sometimes I would just be tempted. What if I just I just wanted to see if it would just peel. It was really bad. So I always stared at his skin tab. It was really bad. He was that old, okay? And so Mr. was probably 32, I would say.
No, probably a little bit older.
No, he was in his 30s, yeah.
Definitely in his 30s.
So 32, 35, somewhere around there.
Yeah, definitely not in his 40s though. So he was younger.
And he became my science teacher.
And he became my math teacher.
Yep.
And so the second we met him, he had no idea how to do math.
Literally no clue how to teach.
Yeah, not only was he racist, he was also a pedophile. One time there was this one student where the student was like, hey, I'm going to eat this Pop-Tart.
Oh my gosh, this happened in my class. I remember.
He's like, can I eat this Pop-Tart? Mr. Fernandez, yeah, you can totally eat the
He's like,
Pop-Tart.
but you have to eat it. He was like, you have to eat it outside of class because people are taking a test. So he was like, you could eat it just not here. And he was like, where do I eat? He's like, go out in the hall and you can eat it. Perfectly fine to eat your snack. You're done. We have 10 minutes left to class. Go eat it. The kid goes and eat it. He comes back. He's like, where were you? And he was like, I ate the Pop-Tart.
And he's like, why did you leave class?
He's like, why did you leave class? And he was like, because you said I could leave class. And he was like, fine. Then the kid walks out to his car, goes and gets in the car with his mom. Then the teacher walks out and goes, your kid interrupted the class because he thought it'd be appropriate to eat a Pop-Tart in the middle of a test without my permission.
And this wasn't the first time that this has happened.
No.
So Mr. Ever since he started acting weird, and the first time he started really acting weird was he pulled me aside. And I don't have a real small class. There's probably about 10 kids. All of them were good, kids.
I'd
One
about
of them
maybe 12.
was this total gangster kid with glasses. He looked exactly like the little kid from Up. The little
Yes.
He actually dressed up like that for Halloween. One time he
Yes.
told me he looked exactly like that, but he was totally gangster.
He was hilarious.
He was
dude.
hilarious.
I wonder where he's at now, man.
I
always think
no
about that.
idea. And Mr. told me, he's like, hey, I'm gonna need to see you after class. Now, let alone after my math class, I have lunch. And I'm like, why? And he's like, because you need to get tutoring class because you're just not you just need to fix your grade. I was like, oh, do I not have a good grade in math? And he's like, no, your grade is fine. I'm like, do I understand everything okay? And he's like, yeah, you understand it fine. And I was like, then why do I need tutoring? And he's like, well, just because. And I was like, weird.
No.
did is I hid in the bathroom because we all the girls.
She got Nina's sister. She like pulled me aside. She's like, "This is what happened." I was like, "I'm gonna go message mom."
Well,
Mom.
because I actually had PE and then I had lunch. So where Bella's math room was, it was in a different building. So you had to walk from that building to the other building where lunch is. So we walked in at the same time. PE was obviously outside. We walked into this building at the same time. So when I walked out, the guy was like, "Do you know where Bella is? Do you know where your cousin is?" And I was like, "No, probably in there to go get lunch." And he was like, "Well, I was supposed to have her for tutoring." And I was like, "Why?" And he's like, "Oh, because." And then he was like, "Do you want tutoring?" And I said, "No." And he was like, "Are you sure?" And then some of my guy friends were like, "She doesn't need tutoring. She's fine." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm smart."
2 things.
And
Number
then we
one,
walked away.
I will say this: the girls are smarter than the guys when it came to my math class. That's just like I'm not even trying to be like mean about that, but like genuinely, girls are usually smarter at least in my math class when it came to math. We all had better grades. We all studied more. That's just how it was. Secondly, he kept the door closed. He kept all the blinds closed, and he never had a light on. Like he never. It was like the natural light that would come in, and he closes the blinds, so it was already really dark in there. So I already had my alarms going off, and so I was like, And so I come back after lunch, and he's like, "Hey, what happened?" And I got a counselor, and I told her, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you don't need to go. You're not forced."
Yeah.
And so he started doing this to all of the girls, where he would ask for tutoring for all of the girls. And he never actually like did anything, but I know he would like drop pens in front of the girls' table, like just to like look under the table. Like he was horrible person.
You know what, guys?
Such a weirdo.
Let's change this a terrible, awful subject. I have a great school story.
I was gonna finish saying that we got him fired.
Well, we did get him fired.
We not only did my class make him cry, but we got him fired as well.
It was great.
Yep.
Now I have a crazy story. So you guys know Ryan, okay? You guys know Ryan. He's
Not
been
our producer.
Not producer Ryan.
But our friend, he's been on the
Ryan,
WAG Nation
he's
videos.
Been on every like WAG Nation video, and oh my gosh, so that's how I met Ryan, was from through school. Now me and him became great friends.
We all sat together at lunch. I was a grade younger than them, but Ryan would bring this game, Exploding Kittens, and it would be Angelina, him, me, and one other friend, or one or two other friends, and we'd sit down at lunch and play this game, and we wouldn't eat.
Mind you, me and Ryan were like great friends. We're still great friends.
Y'all like dated.
Yeah,
that was really funny.
Dated,
that was
okay,
really funny.
But during this time, me and him were just pretty close, and we're still close now, but just 8th grade close.
Yeah.
So something happened. I don't remember exactly, but he got in trouble with one of the counselors, and this counselor was a Karen. She not only was a Karen, but she'd message your parents saying so-and-so was rude, or so-and-so looked at me this way, and so-so needs to be fixed. Miss
Oh,
beep out the name.
I actually loved her. She always gave me bread.
Some
and
days
food.
she was great, some days she wasn't.
she was our
I would
life
agree with that.
skills
She
teacher.
was our life skills teacher.
She taught us all the life skills.
Yeah, she would it was really interesting.
She also ate the dissected octopus.
Yes,
that I
we
dissected.
an octopus, and she cooked it and ate it. Okay,
For her lunch.
so just mind you,
After all the kids messed with it and touched it and
I don't want to even.
We used school scissors to dissect it, and she ate it.
Yeah, so it was weird, but
You know, she still every once in a while tries to send me Instagram reels.
I have her blocked. I
did too. But
There was this one time she's like, I messaged you. I was like, really? She's like, yeah, go look at your message. And on the bottom, at the top, it says, you blocked Miss Ursi. And then she saw them. She's like, you blocked me? I was like, no! That's what? And but anywho,
Killer vocal pitch.
So basically, she told Ryan, "Hey, I need to talk to your mom after school for this behavior you did." And Ryan's just justified in his behavior, saying you weren't even in the class. Like, this isn't what happened. So me and Ryan made a plan. Ryan's like, you distract Miss Ursi, and I'm gonna go run to my car.
I remember.
And get in the car and run. So
Because it was carpools. There was lots of cars
so
on the
I
line.
start talking to that Miss Ursi, and you just see Ryan bolting.
Yes.
And then she notices, and I yell, "Run, Ryan!" And then Ryan gets in his car. She full on sprints to this. Mind you, she's 4'3". I didn't know a little person could be
tiny.
I didn't know a little person could be a 100-meter runner, but she became a 100-meter runner and ran. And you know what? Ryan did get caught. Ryan, she
did run
ran.
fast.
She hopped on a cheetah wing, galloped, let's go. And so so Ryan did get in trouble, but
That was really
we tried
funny.
so hard. Like I screamed, "Run, Ryan!"
There was one time. So do you remember when I was talking about the kid who looked like the little up kid?
Yes.
There was one time he got detention for breathing.
I'm
not even joking.
I remember
It was
this.
her exhaling, okay? So basically, we had this. He called her taxi driver because he said she always wears yellow and she's really fat. Her name was Miss. Okay.
No, I loved her.
I disliked her. I could push her down a flight of stairs. I would have. Like, I'm not even joking.
She was good. She was good until our last year.
Yes,
which was
she made
this
me
year.
write a 300-word essay for being 2 minutes late to a class. However, her clock was 2 minutes off. So I was on time, and that made me mad. And I got in trouble from that by my mom. Anyways, so she decided, she's like, okay, guys. We are going to have a little Zen moment. Why she was doing, I don't know. Okay, and she's like, we're going to turn off all the lights, and you guys are just going to breathe in and breathe out. And so we're like, okay, so we put our heads on our desk.
It's because all the guys were like too chatty and and talking too much, and she was like, that's it. It's a moment of silence.
So she started
everyone.
tweaking. And so this kid, okay, he breathes in, he goes, he literally does, and she goes, nope. She riles him up.
I'm dead serious.
She kicks him out of the class.
Out of class.
And makes him go to detention for exhaling.
Yep.
And then before that, we had to watch, if you've never seen, The Little Boy in White and Blue Stripes. And that is a traumatizing movie. It's about the Holocaust. It's traumatizing. It's really sad. It's the boy in blue and white stripes, something.
Talking about the August movie?
That one. I don't know what that says. You see what that says?
Oh,
The little boy in blue. Yeah, the little boy. The boy in strips. You were wrong. The boy in striped pajamas is what it was called. And so we were watching that for history, okay? And my teacher, Miss was like, because it was the end of class.
I hated her.
And let
She
alone
didn't
for
like me.
little kids.
we're writing off all the teachers.
She really didn't like me.
Miss Bailey, she was weak. If I saw her, I would. Someone would have to restrain me. The amount of dislike I have towards her was toe curling. I'm not even joking. So I remember we were watching this movie, and it was in the beginning, so it was like fine. And so like we didn't think anything of it. And it was the end of class, and instead of saying, "Oh, we'll do a part 2," she goes, "Oh, let's skip to the end." If you guys don't know, the end is traumatizing. Like I'm talking.
I've never watched this.
Never watched that.
It is when the little boy dies, everyone dies.
Spoiler.
Everyone is dying, and the boy died. And so and this is explicit stuff right here. So you're seeing everyone and so she fast forwards and she's like glaring at the screen as we are trembling, and we get out of class and she goes, "I hope you guys enjoyed the movie. I hope you get pushed down a giant freaking flight of stairs.
Oh.
I dislike you so much."
Yeah.
I
Literally, it was the worst thing I've ever experienced.
Now, guys, we have something super excited. We did a live. We did 2 lives before we filmed this podcast, and we're gonna do lives weekly. And we asked if
It was on WAG Adventurals and WAG Nation. We did lives, and we asked you guys to submit questions you wanted us to ask, and we're gonna do a segment called Mail Time. That you want answered. My bad, not asked.
And we'll pick out the best questions. We're gonna shove them in a bag, and then we're gonna pick out from them and answer
Which we
them.
actually have no idea. Our team selected, so we have no idea.
Can
what
I
the
pick
questions
first?
are.
Yes, you can. This is our pretty bag. Pick one, and then we'll answer it.
It's a
and we
giant
will
bag.
pick round 1 or
this-
3. I don't know. We'll pick, and we'll see what the questions are. Shuffle in there, and then Red, who asked it.
Okay, Sky Lover. My boyfriend cheated on me. Advice.
Oh.
Slash his tires, but leave one of them safe. So
Slash through his tires. Put rubber bands on his driveway. Put instant mashed potatoes in his yard before it rains.
Buy a whole bunch of keys and put his number on it, and then sprinkle it around town.
I saw that. and I thought about doing it.
To me,
I
that's
so
insane.
thought about
to me,
doing
that's
it.
just crazy.
It's not crazy. I
Not
thought about-
slashing 3 tires and leaving one so
I'd
insurance
rather-
doesn't
I'd
pay
rather-
for
no,
it.
no, I'd rather be an
That's smart.
inconvenience than actually hurt. I'd rather be an
Yeah, like rubber bands on your
inconvenience.
driveway. You know, you can't sweep up rubber bands on
Oh,
a
no, you
driveway.
can't.
You know how hard that is? Then it's like, okay, I have to drive over that.
No, but they
and
can
then
just blow it with a leaf blower.
No, I think it's stuck or something.
No,
I don't know.
it's not.
Or you put instant mashed potatoes in their yard before
No,
it rains. and then it
I
poops
love
up.
the idea of the keys with the numbers. I thought about that for a while.
So honestly,
First
then at
off-
that point, you just say missing dog and put their phone number and you make a fake dog.
First
and then-
off, break up with him. Don't get with the cheater. He cheated
Yeah.
on you. He
No,
broke your
if
trust.
he did it once, he'll do it again.
He'll do it
completely
a
break
million
up.
times. If he does this in dating, what do you think he's gonna do in marriage? Break up with him immediately. Oh yeah, okay. Sorry, I read that almost wrong. But yeah, no, break up with him. Dump him. That's just what. If he cheated on you, he's gonna
Dump
do that
him,
to you
learn
again.
to move on.
Learn to move on. Find a better guy. Like
There's like 8 billion people.
Especially
There's
since
got to be
if
another one.
If your
Find a guy who'll
boyfriend
treat you right.
has a brother that's the same age and better looking, just be a minor.
If he's a
major
twin brother.
inconvenience.
no, the brother's gonna do the same
You
thing.
don't know that.
Now, yes, there is a very slim chance
You
the
don't
brother
know
is
that.
probably better, but you know,
You don't
unless
wanna
it's
take
the
a risk.
older brother, but you
'Cause-
don't want to take the risk
Because then your brother, if you do marry that guy, then your brother-in-law would be the
then
guy
you
who
just go
cheated
for the
on
dad. No.
Okay.
Don't listen to her.
No.
If
Angelina
Angelina cheated, would Bella? I don't think I would ever cheat because I'm just not that.
Wait, would
person.
Bella?
No. If
Or vice
if
versa.
Angelina cheated, Bella,
I'd
would you cheat?
If
We just said that.
Bella
Guys,
had the
we
mental
just-
capacity to talk to 2 guys at once.
Guys,
and she talks to ChatGPT
Bella-
asking, "What should I say when he calls me pretty?" Thanks, buddy.
no, I don't use ChatGPT. I use Claude. I'm kidding. I don't use AI. I don't.
What
I
was that
don't.
one thing you told me? He said something. Oh, Bella's hamster said, "Man, you look gorgeous in a dress," and then you said, "I bet you would look gorgeous in a dress."
I said, yeah, you too.
Like, not at all. Thank you.
I did say, oh, thank you.
Stop talking. She's trying to talk.
What was the question?
The whole point of Ryan putting that question up there was you just said, I'm speaking to dyslexic people. The whole point is you just said, I'm not going to date a sibling because if the sibling cheats, then I'm not going to try with the other sibling.
If you're a cheater, I'll disown you.
Yeah, like he's saying, if Angelina cheated, are you gonna cheat because you guys are siblings? You just said it's not worth the risk because the older brother.
No, because I'm not
I mean,
a
if
jerk.
I fell off a bridge, are you gonna follow me?
No, I would never. If my sister cheated, I would never cheat. There's just
If I buzz my head, will you buzz yours?
So if you know the sibling, maybe you
It
see and you get
depends.
to
It
know
depends.
him.
I mean, guys are like, I don't know the other person's value. I know for me, I know I would never cheat because that's wrong.
Yeah,
Like, that's
so
horrible.
And the Bella did cheat. Then it's like, well, Angelina
Bella
could
did
be.
cheat, I'd be
If I
shocked.
cheated, you guys have permission to
world's
push me
ending.
off a bridge.
Yeah, if Bella cheated, I think the world's ending. Honestly,
Yeah.
I
Let's
like. I
answer another question.
Yeah, that was a good question.
So off topic. Jeez Louise.
Jeez, you take forever.
Okay. Lily said, "What is the story of the first crush you had on a boy?"
Oh, wait, let me talk.
Wait,
This is Lily and
Oh my gosh!
Wait, let me tell you.
I call tips. Fine.
Okay, so it was in kindergarten. His name was Ryan. Okay, he was the love of my life.
Oh, wasn't he a redhead? Like,
no, he was a brunette. I remember
okay.
him. He used to call me Rapunzel, and I called him my knight in shining armor, my little 5-year-old self. And
remember this?
I was in love.
I remember
with
mine
Ryan.
in kindergarten.
I remember
he
yours
was the
too.
one. He was a redhead with freckles, and he had a big crush on me.
yeah, that one.
So let me guys. I literally thought he was my soulmate for the long time. I'm not.
She
even joking.
did. Oh my gosh, I do remember this.
So okay, Ryan was the sweetest. I don't know. He had a big head. I don't know. I don't know.
No, I remember.
really liked
he was
him.
a cute kid.
And I remember one time my teacher, I don't know why, she's like, let's do dancing. But she decided to put on like a slow song. And my sister was dancing with Ryan. I was ready to rip her head off.
Wow.
I remember.
Because I thought Ryan was cute too.
I thought he was cute.
Why? I think we all three had a crush on Ryan.
He was my knight in shining armor.
Well, guess who had the last dance with him? Me.
No, because I remember.
I think I had a crush.
Shut up!
I think I had a crush.
Shut up! I'm not done. I remember Angelina was dancing with him and I was ready to kill her. So I remember I shoved her out of the way and I took her spot. And Ryan was like, oh, he probably. And I remember he used to brag.
Kid.
Do you guys know in the Bahamas how there's that slide that goes into the pool of sharks, but it's like a clear slide? He used to tell me that he used to go on that, and he's like, if you fell into the water, I would jump on the shark and I would save you. And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's hot, And I was like 6, okay, and I was in love with him, and that was like.
Let me ask the next question.
Wait, who was your crush?
I don't know if my first.
I don't remember. I remember my very first serious crush.
I remember the first time a guy had a crush on me. He was a redhead covered in freckles.
I remember that.
And he
was
a weirdo.
He was weird.
I think I was 8. I think I was 7 or 8, and he was also 7 or 8. And he had this big crush on me. He spread rumors that we were dating, and I'm like, I'm 8. I'm like, we're not dating. Then we left.
Yeah.
I remember at lunch one time a girl threw up.
Oh, that's great, Bella.
I'm sorry, huh?
That's phenomenal.
Awesome.
No, she just really hated food.
Okay, this will be our last question.
Oh,
you grabbed 2.
Last
dummy.
question, and then we will do more next week. Every week we'll have mail.
Okay,
what is
it?
it?
Okay, Sadie M. Sadie M. S14 says, "Who's your favorite person on the podcast?"
Me.
Scarlett.
Ryan.
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 If I can't pick myself, I pick Ryan.
I pick Ryan as well.
I picked Scarlett or Ryan.
Wow. She hates you.
Wow. But you know what? It's okay because I got to dance with your crush. So
You guys were 6 years old.
I'll go dance with Hamster later tonight or tomorrow or
Oh wait, no,
Thursday
he has
or
a new
something.
name, Fluffy Cup Hamster.
Fluffy Cup Hamster.
Because you came up with
I'll
that.
go
That was
dance
so
with Fluffy
weird.
Cup Hamster.
I don't think he would dance with you.
This
know,
is
we'll find out.
so weird. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching this podcast. Make sure to stay tuned and subscribe for our next video. We post videos every single week, and the next one will be super cool also.
And we hope you like this video.
Yeah. And we'll do more like this. Bye.
Bye.